Hey everyone, today I'm really excited to meet up with Jessica, the CEO of Judy's House, our September's High Five Cares nonprofit that we are spotlighting. Thanks so much, Jessica, for jumping on with me today.
You bet. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I know we're really excited to share about Judy's House mission. So I'm looking forward to just hearing more about who you guys are, what you guys are up to, and how we can support you this month. So I guess we'll just start right there. Tell us a little bit about Judy's House and who you guys are.
Yeah, you bet. Well, first of all, we're so excited to be able to do this with you this month. What a nice thing you do for the community to focus on different nonprofits. There's so many of us out there trying to do hard work in challenging times right now, as I'm sure you guys are too. Judy's House is incredibly unique in our community and actually in the nation. We were founded in 2002 and we're a bereavement center. Our mission is to support children and families who are grieving a death loss by helping them find connection and healing. Our vision is that no child should be alone in grief, which is an incredibly lofty vision if you think about that. Sadly, we've learned through a lot of the research that we've done that prevalency rates of grieving children in the nation and in our state are incredibly high. It's one of those things that I think oftentimes people don't think about until it's affected them personally or somebody they know. But the research that we've done has told us that 1 in 14 children will experience the death of a parent or a sibling by the time they reach 18. So that tells us it's something that's incredibly common and something, frankly, that oftentimes gets overlooked in terms of the kind of support that those grieving children actually require when they're going through the very hardest time in their life. So we offer counseling, group therapy models, individual counseling, family counseling to really reach out and wrap our arms around the whole family when there's a grieving child in that family.
Yeah, it's like you guys found definitely a need and are doing, it sounds like a lot of things for them. And I think it's especially cool how you work with the whole family as well.
Yeah.
And not just, just the child. So just everybody encompassed around that support. Can you speak more about that connection? You talked about like connection.
Yeah.
We know like at High Five, I mean, that's like the big thing is just connecting with our team and connecting with our clients. And so, how do you guys go about like with your connection with those you're serving?
I'm so glad you asked that, Cassie, because that's really at the core of who we are. It's in our mission, and it's really the biggest part about how we help children find healing is to make that type of connection. It's one of the things I thought was really cool about your approach with the high five concept. Really that's what makes life better for all of us is when we can find those types of connections. For us, what we do, and you're exactly right, we work with the whole family. So if there is a child between the ages of 3 and 25, we define that pretty broadly, who's experienced a death loss, then they're eligible to come to Judy's House for support, and not just them, but their entire family, because we believe supporting the child, the siblings, and the caregivers is also incredibly important. If we're helping folks with their coping skills and their resiliency skills, if just one person is getting that support, we've found that we do so much better if we're also teaching caregivers the same skills, so everybody's kind of on the same page. One of the things that's incredibly unique about how we do our work, when we can gather, which we can right now, we've kind of re-engineered how we do our work during these COVID times, but what we do is we have different group settings that are frankly broken up based on age of the child who's grieving, and also the type of death loss that child has experienced. So if someone, for example, has experienced the death loss of a parent through long-term illness, they'll be sitting in a group therapy environment where they're with other kids of the same age with similar types of loss, so they can really make that connection and talk to others who understand in a way that many times no one else understands. And especially for kids who have these experiences oftentimes report feeling that they were incredibly alone during their grief process, that people just didn't understand what they were going through, and they didn't see anybody else that looked like them in the world going through this type of loss. And so if we can put kids and families together who've had similar experiences with licensed clinicians to support that work, we found that we make huge progress in helping those folks not feel quite so alone.
Yeah, just helping to foster that community there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I guess, tell me a little bit about how you got started with Judy's House and your background with
Yeah.
them.
You bet. Frankly, my story is incredibly personal. I've been with the organization now for almost a year and a half. And actually, I was a former client myself. Around 7 years ago, my husband of 20 years died. And he died by suicide, which was incredibly traumatic for our family, obviously. And at the time, my son was 7 and my daughter was 11. I'd heard about Judy's House, and I had a kind of a stressful job at the time, a great job that I loved, working for a nonprofit, but an incredibly complex and busy life like everybody's is. And frankly, I have heard recently some of our clients describe Judy's House as the only safe place that they felt safe that they could actually grieve. And that was really my family's experience. My kids and I spent a year accessing everything that Judy's House had to offer us. And the amazing thing is all of that additionally is free. It's at no cost to the family that comes through. So I saw firsthand what an unbelievable impact our work could have on families and children. Milestones for me, I mean, I know what we do has a real impact. My daughter just started college literally last week, and my son is starting high school. And I know that some of the things that they learned and were able to process at Judy's House are the things that have helped them prevent negative outcomes and be able to keep moving forward. So for me, my connection's pretty personal, and I knew I was driven to want to give back in some way to this organization that helped my family. So I feel really lucky and grateful I get to do this work now.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely tell, like, even, before I heard your background, like your passion and how you already have that connection with them. So that's really, like stories like this makes me just like, this is why we like spotlighting nonprofits, is hearing, the tactical things that, are benefiting the individual.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I could definitely tell your passion is there, and you're enjoying what you're doing now. So
yeah.
Thanks for sharing that story with us.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. So, this month, as we're sharing about your mission, is there anything specific that you would want us to share? I know times, are different now, and you guys are probably making adjustments and things, but is there a specific need, or what would you need the community support?
That's such a good question, Cassie. And I could go on and on, right? I'm sure like every other nonprofit that you're talking to right now. I mean, as I mentioned a little bit ago, I do think it's amazing what we do for families completely free of charge. That's unbelievably unique and amazing. All of our budget comes from philanthropic support from the community. So financial donors or organizations that are writing a grant for us, or frankly, special events that we hold that this year we can't hold at all. So we've been really taxed with reinventing how we fundraise. So I will say that folks who are able, and no pressure there, but folks who are able, financial donations and getting the word out that that's something that we are still needing is incredibly imperative to us, so that we can continue to fulfill our mission. I will say I am so proud of what this organization has done to remain present for our clients during this time. We are an essential service in terms of mental health for families that are in dire need, and at no time since March did we step away from our responsibilities to our clients. So we quickly shifted, and we were able to, when we had to not offer groups in the beginning, we were able to move to a telehealth model and then a video health platform. And then just last week, we've been working incredibly hard to come up with a new way to offer our groups socially distanced outside, but we have been able to put groups back on the books for our clients. And that has been wonderful to see the gratitude for folks to be able to be together again during these challenging times. I think just awareness too, I think grief and the understanding of what the impacts of grief can have on our community as a whole is much more heightened because of COVID right now. So one thing I'm hoping is just all of us can have a little bit more understanding of what folks are going through during these most difficult times. So helping be attuned and making our world a little more grief understanding is also a great thing for folks to do for us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll share all about, you guys this month. Where can people find you?
You bet. Our website is judishouse.org. That's the best place to get all resources if folks actually need a referral or want to look into our services or make a donation. So that's probably the best place. We're also on Instagram and Twitter as well under Judi's House.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, we'll make sure to tag you guys and put your contact information here, so that way people can connect really easy with you. You know, I really appreciate you doing this with me today. I'm really excited to share Judi's House and to share even just your story, and the impact that, you know, this organization has had, you know, in your life and will continue to have, you know, for the rest of this year and further on. We're really excited to spotlight you guys and to share everything about you. So thank you for jumping on, and we have to end everything with a high five.
I love it. Okay. Thank you, Cassie. We're so appreciative of you helping us talk about what we're doing, and thanks for the great work you're doing. I love the way you're running your business in terms of making connections. That's kind of what makes the world better, right? So thanks for what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you.